Sagicor Bank, supporting businesses with guidance and services to create the recipe for success. The time by Sagicor Bank is
7 p.m.
I'm Carla Brown. Let's continue to inspire Jamaica. And of course, where else will you see it? CVM TV, of course.
Demolition to relocations. Prime Minister Holness steps in to help Cooper's Pen residents. Public doctors press government over overtime and allowances. Back to school safety fears mount as repairs continue at hurricane-damaged schools. A voice falls silent. Veteran broadcaster Dervin Malcolm dies after a period of illness. In the business report, bunkering leader defies global uncertainty. And later in sports, Jamaica Kingsmen keep playoff hopes alive with vital win in Caribbean Premier League. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Friday, August 28, 2026. I'm Tyrone Reed. Thanks for joining us. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has personally taken charge of efforts to relocate families displaced by the controversial demolitions at Cooper's Pen in Trelawney. The Prime Minister visited the community today, weeks after homes were torn down, leaving families displaced and triggering protests and calls for government intervention. Dr. Holness told residents that the alternative lands have been identified, but delivered a firm warning that the government will not sanction the illegal occupation of land. He says his administration will instead help affected families move towards legal land ownership.
We have identified certain acreages of land which are in close proximity to this area. There is another possibility which is further away, but in my opinion, it is still within the parish and therefore we could consider it to be in proximity. I don't believe we can accommodate all the legitimate claims that are here. When I say legitimate, meaning persons who were acknowledged as squatters on the land prior to the court action and the orders.
The Prime Minister made it clear that the new land will not be free. He says residents will be given options to pay for their lots and ultimately secure legal titles.
You could get a long lease and you pay over time. Some of you are NHD contributors, so you have contribution that you can access. Yes. You could buy the land up front. Of course, the price will be very reasonable. Okay. Right? And for those who we assess as having no income, and then there is a social housing provision, meaning that you will get the lot fully subsidized or highly subsidized. You might have to put in some sweat equity into it. All right, so we will give you various options to own the land. But one thing will not get into your mind is that it's freeness. All of you here are industrious people. Some of you are working, some of you are doing your hustling. None of you want the freeness handout.
No freedom.
You want to be able to say, I work for this, I invested in this, and I got it legally.
Dr. Holness also had stern words for those encouraging residents to occupy land illegally, insisting that the government cannot solve the housing problem by encouraging further informal settlements.
There are politicians who have told people to do this.
Yes.
Listen to it carefully. The same politicians who told you to come and occupy the land are telling other people who were not on the land to come and occupy the land and displace you.
Yes.
And they are here listening.
Same way.
Well, I am being clear. We will not allow anyone to chop any line in Jamaica.
Yes.
We are not supporting the chopping the line culture. We are not supporting the scamming culture. That is what has destroyed Jamaica.
The government is also providing financial assistance to families who lost furniture and other belongings during the demolitions. Dr. Holness says a policy review is underway aimed at finding more effective ways to regularize communities and prevent similar crises. The government has already signaled plans for a broader program to formalize irregularly settled communities.
The Jamaica Medical Doctors Association has concluded.
In other news now, the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, is pressing for a resolution to a long-running dispute over overtime, compensation and allowances for public sector doctors. The association says its case before the Industrial Disputes Tribunal has been completed, but a ruling is still pending. More in this report.
The Jamaica Medical Doctors Association has concluded its case against the government. The Jamaica Medical Doctors Association has concluded its case against the government at the Industrial Disputes Tribunal, but 5 months later, the doctors are still awaiting a ruling. The case centers on overtime pay and an allowance the doctors say was unilaterally discontinued for more than 700 public sector doctors.
We apologize for that insert. With the new school year fast approaching, concerns are mounting about the readiness and safety of some schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa. Carla Ramdeen has our report.
Back-to-school preparations gear up. Parliamentary Secretary in the Education Ministry, Senator Marlon Morgan, is urging parents to encourage their children to steer clear of active work sites as repair works continue at some schools following the impact of Hurricane Melissa.
There are schools serving as active sites in terms of work still ongoing. I'm imploring parents to engage their children and impress upon them the importance of staying away from any material that may be hazardous. Building material may be situated on a school plant, and even though the areas will be appropriately labeled and cordoned off, we know that children may exhibit a tendency or a propensity to, be curious and seek to interact with an active work site, and that is what we want to discourage. But
opposition spokesman on human rights Isaac Buchanan says Jamaica is not fully prepared for the start of the new school year, highlighting concerns about safety and the overall conditions at some schools. Buchanan says children should not bear the burden of learning in dangerous or hazardous environments.
But if you send children to school to learn how to read and write, and some of the parents who are sending the children to school also don't know how to read and write, when in life will it be the responsibility of parents to tell children who are going to school to learn to read and write to read the signs of occupier's liability? That if you're going to school, don't walk on the tarpaulin and don't walk on the post them because you might get hurt. That is the dumbest thing ever. If that is not madness, I don't know what it is.
In the meantime, President of the National Secondary Schools Council, Rajeem Nelson, is also weighing in on readiness of schools ahead of the academic year. Nelson says while the students' body commends the Ministry of Education for its efforts to get school ready, the safety of students must be a priority.
When repairs are ongoing, we have to be mindful of the potential risks associated with students being on active construction sites. That is pretty hazardous for our students, and our students are the ones that are ready to explore. Temporary arrangements such as tents may assist in keeping education ongoing, but they are not necessarily the most suitable learning environment, particularly with the heat, the rain, and mud conditions.
Nelson says schools should take a flexible approach, using both in-person and online learning, with CSEC and CAPE students being prioritized.
We therefore believe that schools should implement a system that works both for both upper school and lower school. Ultimately, we want to ensure that education continues without compromising the safety of our students. This requires a collaborative effort from the ministry, schools, or parents especially, and our students going forward.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Thank you, Carla. Now, Jamaica's oil refinery Petrojam has confirmed that the fire which damaged a section of the refinery on Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston on Thursday was controlled in ample time, and all members of staff are safe and accounted for. But as the cause of the fire, the communications manager, Elon Parkinson, says it's too early to tell. Here's Crystal Williams with the details.
At the Petrojam Refinery on Thursday. Petrojam Refinery on Thursday evening was contained to a certain section, according to Petrojam's communications manager, Elon Parkinson. He says he was not surprised by the blaze.
Lots of heat exists within a refinery operation. We're talking about 300-400 degrees Celsius. And so that level of heat can bring about fires from time to time. It is not uncommon, by the way, for refineries to experience fires. The fires are usually small and they're extinguished quite quickly.
He says as of now, refinery operations have returned to normal, adding this incident has not disrupted fuel supply in any way.
In terms of distribution, we are good. We have adequate supplies. We import products as well. So those imports will come in as scheduled. Nothing has changed there. In terms of the refinery, well, the refinery was undergoing some maintenance anyway. So we had already provisioned for importation of products to supplement the downtime that the refinery was under.
Mr. Parkinson reported several operational units at the refinery were temporarily shut down to mitigate the issue.
So what we would have to do is to shut down the supply lines from the crude oil tanks. We would have to isolate some other areas where there's feed of oil going into the area of damage. And now we do the damage assessment, as I'd indicated earlier, and to see what's needed for the road ahead in terms of getting the plant up and running again.
He says the investigation team has been assembled as damage assessment is still ongoing. Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Thank you, Crystal. Stay with us. News at 7 continues in a moment.
Before the first patty is baked, there are hands that grow what we need. For Jamaica, by Jamaicans. Through every season and challenge, they built with us. They believed. To every farmer, thank you.
Time to get this party started. Cricket, 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 played, 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 louder, 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 louder.
Come to the biggest party in sport and be part of the action. Get your tickets at the local box office or at cplt20.com. Watch it live on Rush Live and Louder, the home of cricket in the Caribbean.
How we play.
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a guan?
What a guan?
That's a guan.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a guan? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a guan. What a guan?
Thanks so much for staying with us. Jamaica's media fraternity is mourning the passing of veteran broadcast and journalist Dervin Malcolm, whose career spanned more than 3 decades. Malcolm, who became one of the familiar voices of Jamaican radio, was known for his work as a news presenter, editor, sportscaster, and producer, as well as his commitment to public education and issues affecting Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora. More in this report.
Thursday, August 27, 2026, following a period of illness. He began his broadcasting career on October 24, 1993, while he was still a student and head boy at the Calabar High School. Over the course of 31 years with the independent radio company, Malcolm served in several capacities, including news presenter and editor, sportscaster, talk show producer, and executive producer of programs. In 2007, he became the host and producer of Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM, a current affairs program through which he encouraged public discussion while highlighting issues of national importance. But Malcolm's contribution extended beyond the studio. He was a strong advocate for road safety, child protection, entrepreneurship, and issues affecting Jamaicans living overseas. As host of the Jamaican Diaspora Live online, he helped strengthening connections between Jamaicans at home and abroad.
While several manufacturers and exporters in the corporate area are now feeling the impact of the drought conditions and ongoing water shortages affecting the island, those in the western parishes say they're planning ahead of the water crisis. Natasha Williams tells us more.
With extreme drought and water restrictions plaguing the nation for weeks, Vice President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Cecil Foster, says the industry is now feeling the pinch. However, he underscored that while the impact might not be costing exporters their businesses, it is directly impacting staff.
The manufacturing sector does not only manufacture product, they employ people. And the same people who are affected by the water shortage at home have to do all they can to make sure that they are coming to work ready with a mindset and knowing that, okay, they have to find a way to get back home to make sure water is collected and so on. And they might not even have the resources to buy water tanks.
The Vice President stressed that this strain on its members in turn causes the production to be inefficient and more costly, while often resulting in delayed export.
When an order is to be supplied on a particular day and it is not able to go on that day because of circumstance like what we're talking about here, it definitely will affect. It might not cause the exporter to lose business, but the reputation of the exporter might not be as strong as it was before the crisis took place.
However, President of the Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises MSME Alliance, Antoinette Hamilton, says while the company's productions are not directly impacted by the drought, MSME manufacturers in the West have already installed measures to combat the possible impact.
But as it relates to businesses, we are not receiving any complaints about water shortages or water pressure issues that are affecting our manufacturers' production. So that's a good sign. And our members in the western side of the island, they're actually experiencing some rainfall up to yesterday. So they have used the opportunity to invest in some catchment equipment such as drums and tanks.
Mr. Foster urges the government to develop a plan to help the manufacturing and exporting sectors to recover quickly.
So whatever plan they have to reduce this water loss to 30% by 2035 or something like that, it must be put out there now and must come on stream, and no pun intended also, it must come on stream and it must be assessed if this thing is going to satisfy the country and the manufacturing sector on a whole.
Natasha Williams, CVM News.
All right, we take the break right here and come back with more.
Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Grab True Shake and back $500,000. Purchase any 4 True Shake for a chance to win big. Grand prize $500,000 plus 6 weekly prizes. Grab True Shake and back $500,000 for back to school.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Now to the business report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today. From inside the engines of Jamaica's ongoing redevelopment, as momentum builds within resource pools that are being replenished, receiving the instruction required, and providing the tools to excel, courtesy of an arrangement that sees the fusion of ambition between private enterprise and the leading provider of technical vocational education and training in the Caribbean, as the Heart NSTA Trust embrace Tankweld Equipment Limited's ability and willingness to innovate technologically, specifically the purchase of a one-of-one simulator signed off on by TWE Managing Director John Ralston.
Tankweld has gotten to where Tankweld is by staying in their own lane. So downstairs you'll be able to see Tankweld, the group's initiative when it comes to training, to upskilling drivers. It's a simulator that was imported predominantly for our own use, but now we've expanded it. Heart has become a partner with us. So we don't actually teach people to drive. You have to come here with a driver's license, but if you want to upgrade from a 5-ton license to a larger license, you'll be able to go in this simulator. The only one in the world. It was designed specifically for us with our input.
What was requested was a piece of equipment that could not only simulate the tactile sensations of being inside a truck cabin, but also replicate the specific conditions encountered on Jamaican roads.
Map the entire road from here all the way to Otrias, and so the actual hills are the same grade, everything is identical. With the instructor, he can shut off your brakes, he can shut off your engine, he can do anything that you would anticipate in an accident, and instead of having to fix a destroyed truck, you just start a button and you'll go again.
Just some of the many advantages the rig allows, as Tankweld Heart Trucking Academy simulator instructor Nico Hall ran through some scenarios ahead of our first virtual delivery.
It's the only one with all the technology combined in one simulator. It can give you a tractor trailer loaded with a container or a big bulldozer on the back of it. You can change the weight from 10 tons up to 100 tons, and it feels that way behind the seat when you're actually driving it. Rain, we can simulate fogs, we can do all of that. So yes, this is the only simulator in the world that's built like this. This is the outside of Tankweld Metal's logistics hub that's next door. Currently, this is my truck. It is loaded with 14 tons of steel on a flatbed, 40-foot flatbed, and I will be taking it to a location on Spanish Town Road. It's made to test how alert you are as a driver. Now we're entering Spanish Town Road. I'm going to try to do an accident. The truck is actually on the side because I slammed it into a wall. The beauty of it is you experience, as Mr. Ralston said, that accident, but it's just as easy as clicking a button and going again.
A rendering that not only encourages responsible driving, but has other real-world benefits as well, according to Ralston.
The simulator is a tool. It's a machine that is really to bring you back from those bad habits, and it is to teach you to make the vehicle more reliable, to be safer on the road. The long and the short of it is that training is the only way to do it. And, Tankweld is playing our role to try and make this safer. Within the Tankweld fleet, we have seen increased fuel efficiencies and decreased maintenance costs. The simulator actually scores against you if you drive with your foot to it, if you're on the red line all the time and that kind of thing. So it really helps you to understand. And at the end of it, you'll be able to monitor their fuel efficiency so they will understand.
A number that's increasing every 45 days since the introduction of the pilot program with Heart.
Every 6 weeks, we take on 9 persons for training. The first batch of persons that we only had 1 female in that entire cohort. She got the highest. She aced the exam. We wanted to foster an environment where women can feel safe.
With good reason, as Tankweld Equipment Limited's managing director describes the benefits of having a truck that's lady-driven.
Our experience of a lady in Tankweld The truck was better maintained, as in it was run better. It did better fuel efficiency. She wasn't trying to show off or anything at all. And so as a result of that, we just feel that ladies have a very clear path in this industry.
And for those of you shying away from getting to grips with 18 gears, another innovation is on its way.
Shackman asked us to bring a tractor head into Jamaica with an automatic transmission. It is the most sophisticated Shackman truck that's ever been built, as in that model. It's called the X6000. But it's here as a test truck for automatic transmissions. The reason for it is that, again, with your drivers having less experience, they don't changing gears on hills and various things like that. Also, with the advent of automatic transmissions in heavy vehicles, we are hoping to attract more ladies to drive. So this truck has been here for 2 years testing. It's done extremely well. And so as a result of those positive tests, Tankel, the group, has now imported 9 for ourselves. And so as a result, we're now going to start to issue them to drivers, as in next week. And we just feel that it's the best way to go.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
Thanks, Joel. More to come on CVM News at 7.
With Chris and Charles. From July 9 to August 31, enjoy a low interest rate on loans of $1.5 and $2 million. Plus, get 25% off the processing fee on loans of $1 million Jamaican dollars and above. You could also qualify for one of 50 Ready for School grants worth 60,000 Jamaican dollars each. Visit your nearest Chris and Charles branch or www.chrisandcharles.com for details. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles. Conditions apply.
Watch Walking on the Word with Apostle Professor J. Andrew Scott every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m.
An apostle cause 3 contracts to be released to you. So as of tonight, the realm of the supernatural is active and activated to cause 3 contracts. Pow! 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 In Jesus' name.
KFC Summer Bucket. This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the Summer Bucket for $4,700.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What a guan?
What a guan?
That a guan pa.
What a guan? What a guan?
What a guan? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
That's a guan pa. What a guan?
Thanks for staying us. We now go to Carla Ramdeen for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. 2 months after 2 earthquakes struck Venezuela, more than 12,500 people are still living in temporary camps in La Guaira. Many survivors are still struggling to come to terms with the loss of loved ones and their homes. They have been forced to adapt to precarious living conditions while being exposed to the elements, with little access to medical care and humanitarian aid. France 24 has more.
It took just 39 seconds for his home to perish, along with 6 members of his family, his wife, one of his daughters, and 3 of his granddaughters. Francisco Guerra spent 3 days digging through the rubble to recover their bodies and give them a proper burial. His leg injury has since worsened. He now lives in this temporary camp in La Guaira, where medical care is scarce, if available at all.
I'm waiting to get treatment for my leg.
or to have surgery because I need a hip replacement. If I can get a surgery, I'll find somewhere to live on my own. But until I get treated, I have to depend on the help I'm receiving.
A few kilometers away, Yelitsa Peña has also found refuge in a camp. She lost her husband and son in the earthquake. Only her daughter has survived. Yelitsa is struggling to come to terms with the tragedy. She dreams of having a real home again, just like the one she lost.
At home, you have your bathroom, your belongings. Here, you don't. They give us food, but it's not the same as cooking and preparing your own meals. Here, it's different. We have what they give us, and nothing more.
On to international news. Nepal and China are warning fresh flooding risk in the Himalayas after a glacier collapsed, created two barrier lakes on either side of their border, threatening to burst as the region grapples with catastrophic flooding. More from Reuters.
A new danger is unfolding. A lake formed by debris from the glacier collapse has started to overflow on Friday, according to Chinese state media. As a result of that, Chinese rescuers and personnel on the Chinese side of the area have started to withdraw to a safer position. Downstream in Nepal, Nepalese authorities have suspended rescue operations after hearing of reports that the lake upstream has started to overflow. According to a Reuters witness, helicopter evacuations on the Nepalese side have also been halted. He also told us that he had seen locals rushing up a hill, afraid that the next wave of flooding will be coming towards them.
Lastly, climate change is intensifying extreme weather and creating greater instability, with phenomena such as El Niño expected to worsen heat, drought, storms and flooding, making these events the new normal for Europe, while governments remain inadequately prepared. France 24 has the details.
It's probably too early to say with any confidence the role that climate change played in what looks like a terrifying experience for that town. But we do know that as we heat up our climate, as we put more heat into the climate system, we are putting more energy into things like hurricanes and cyclones and storms. And so it would not be massively surprising to discover that climate change has its fingerprints over this tornado when scientists come to look at it in detail. Certainly the terrifying summer that we have seen across large parts of Europe already over the last few months is very much due to climate change. This very much represents the sort of future that we can expect to continue to see, and indeed will only get worse and worse until we stop putting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and stop adding heat into our climate system.
And that's it for regional and international news.
Thank you, Carla. Now to some local health news. As damning allegations of poor patient care continue to make the rounds, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is insisting punitive actions must be taken against medical staff against whom such claims are proven to be true. Here's CVM's Natasha Williams with the details. All right. Now,
accountability framework. It's about delivering service with compassion, with empathy, and of course ensuring that every patient is treated with dignity, respect, and fairness at every point of care.
That's the standard of care Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is demanding from healthcare practitioners. This comes amid several high-profile claims of poor patient care at public hospitals. Speaking at the third staging of the Dr. Byron Winter Memorial Scholarship Award ceremony on Friday, Minister Tufton says the ministry is adamant about holding medical professionals accountable and is urging patients to speak up.
Where there's a problem, we need to identify the institution, the department, and who is in charge. We have to start calling names, because you can't allow one bad apple to spoil the whole lot. We have to stop that. So guess what? Tell me where the worst experience takes place, the bad experience. Tell me which department and tell me who is in charge. And what leadership ought now to do is to address the specifics of a problem. Stop generalizing the problem, because you are letting down people who make sacrifices every day to do the work. You have to help us to change that mindset towards individual accountability, because unless we have individual accountability, we cannot have collective accountability.
In addressing the 141 recipients who are now enrolled in medical fields at tertiary institutions, Dr. Tufton says this scholarship forms part of the ministry's wider investment in an attempt to solve the inefficiencies in the health system.
And we have to be honest, we are deficient. We are deficient in the numbers, in the categories of expertise, and in some instances, to be totally frank, in the attitude and conduct of even those who are in the system. So you represent a catalyst for change. We don't just want you for your competence, we also want you for your attitude.
Dr. Tufton advised the scholarship awardees, and by extension, members of the health sector, not to enter the profession only for a paycheck.
If you just want to be a nurse, a doctor, a biotech engineer, because at the end of the month you think you're going to get a fat paycheck, and that's the only driving motivation to apply and to pretty up the application for this money, do not accept it. There are too many people in the profession who sees the profession only in financial terms and not enough as a passion and